Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Alistair Lewis. I'm the chairman of Tartana Minerals Limited. It's actually afternoon here today, 1 p.m. in Sydney, and I've noted the presence of a quorum and declare this meeting to be open. On behalf of your board of directors, I welcome you to this annual general meeting of our company, and I can introduce you to the other members of the board. Steve Bartrop is on my left. He's our managing director. And by phone and Zoom, we have Michael Thernbeck and Matt Hancock attending. Kiara's in Shenzhen at the moment, and she's watching live. Also in attendance is our company secretary, Sonny Didaglu, and representing our auditors, Greg and Jack, who will answer any questions relating to the conduct of the audit. Before I formally commence the business of the meeting, I'd like to read out an address to shareholders. As required by the ASX listing rules, the company has already released a copy of this address on the ASX market announcements platform earlier today. So as I said earlier, it is my privilege to welcome you to the 2025 Annual General Meeting of Tartana Minerals Limited. Over the past year, our company has navigated an evolving resource sector outlook with peak demand growing for the very minerals that we, Tartana, are blessed with. We have undergone a restructuring and spent considerable time and money progressing our tenements and targets in the last 12 months. It has not been without its challenges. A lot of the work that we have done has been invisible. It's been done, you don't really see it. We continue to pursue our shared mission for our company to be a self-funded, dividend-paying producer in the rich and highly prospective Chillagoe, Herberton and Petford regions in far north Queensland, which I think you all agree has become very fashionable now, far north Queensland. Our immediate focus remains on the development of our copper, gold, silver and zinc assets around Chillagoe, but we're also vested in the Petford and Herberton area around the old Daisy Bell mine site. At Chillagoe, we currently operate a heap leach solvent extraction crystallisation plant on our Tartana mining lease. We produce copper sulphate pentahydrate at Tartana, and we've also been engaging with pit optimisation studies performed on the mineralisation to assist in the future mine planning for the extraction and processing of our copper resources at the existing Mangana processing plant in a joint venture operation, or through the establishment of a new plant on the Tartana mine site. Our secondary focus is to drill and prove up our rich tin, tungsten, copper, antimony and silver prospects around Petford and Herberton, further south of Chillagoe. Basically, we have a full house, so to speak, of now designated critical minerals exploration projects in the pipeline. I was honoured to be appointed chairman of Tartana Minerals in May 2025, succeeding Mr. Jihad Malib, who steered the company through the restart of the copper sulphate production, and the board thanks him for his efforts. In addition, Mr. Bruce Hills, our former finance director and CFO, has also retired recently, and the board would also like to thank Bruce for his important contribution. Both Jihad and Bruce remain available for advice and help, and so their skills are not lost to us, and we are in constant contact. Our board is small, agile and energetic, and with Matt Hancock joining the board, this will continue. Matt is currently our project manager and brings a wealth of knowledge on mineral processing and working in far north Queensland, which is hugely advantageous. In the past 12 months, we secured a director-led unsecured debt facility of Australian dollars 1.55 million, with strong commitment from existing directors. Directors have also announced this week their participation in a placement at a premium to the current share price, conditional on shareholder approval to be sought in the new year. This is a testament to our confidence in our strategy and in our company. Further funding opportunities have been negotiated with interested parties, and there have been recent announcements regarding this. On behalf of the board, I extend my sincere gratitude to our shareholders for their continued support, and their patience and the belief in our vision, our small team for their dedication, their skills and their resilience, fellow directors for their invaluable guidance and oversight, and our community partners, regulators, stakeholders for their cooperation. In closing, I want to emphasise that Tartana Minerals stands at an important inflection point. We have real and coveted mineral assets and a clear strategy for growth. We are working very hard to develop our existing assets towards producer status and create significant value for our shareholders. I thank you for your continued support and faith in Tartana Minerals. I now invite the Managing Director, Steve Bartrop, to present to shareholders. As required by the ASX listing rules, the company has released a copy of this address on the ASX market announcements platform earlier today.
Great.
Steve.
I'll
swap sides here.
Right, welcome again, and thanks for attending the 2025 AGM. It's great to see you. Great to see you all here. I've got a relatively quick presentation, which is probably optimal, but it'll give you a good background in terms of where the company is and where we're going. The usual disclaimer, which you can read at your leisure. And I guess if you look at, just to give you a feeling in terms of, what is the cost of Tartana in the market. I've got a capital structure here that basically highlights the fact that we're a 10 million market cap, and we're about a 14 million enterprise value. Our cash is low, but it varies according to, I guess, placements which we've announced and which is not incorporated into these numbers, but also the sales of copper sulfate pentahydrate, which generally occur once, perhaps hopefully twice per month, and the intention is really to try and increase that production to provide a stronger base of cash flow for the company going forward. In terms of our activities of later, I guess our philosophy, we have a philosophy of not diluting the shareholders. Our minimum subscription price has always been 5 cents or above, so we don't really want to dilute our shareholders. 44% of our convertible notes or proposed convertible notes at this AGM are related parties, so they provide that sort of confidence, I guess, to other shareholders that nobody's going to foreclose, I guess, in terms of the company going forward. All our options are exercisable at 10 cents, so they're out of the money, of course, at the moment, but we'd like to see the share price moving forward. And we've secured this potential financing facility for up to 5 million with Alt Resources through a streaming revenue deal, and Alt Resources is a proposed UK AIM-listed entity. Our assets, if you look at what we've got, I think you'll be impressed. We've got existing copper production in the form of copper sulfate, which we're shipping and producing at the moment. We've got potential copper production growth, and as Alistair alluded to, we're looking at a whole deal around utilising the Mangana plant, and we've done quite considerable work around investigating, optimising the pit and doing mine plans and so forth to take that forward. Our copper resources stand at 45,000 tonnes at Tartana of contained copper. We hope to increase that through a drilling program to in excess of 100,000 tonnes. We have zinc resources of 39,000 tonnes open at depth, and we hope to increase that zinc by further drilling at depth and along strike. Gold resources, we announced earlier, or just recently, a 500,000 ounce resource at the Cardross project. So combined with the Mountain Maid project, we now have in excess of 1 million ounces. At Nightflower, we've got the antimony silver lead project, and we really have one of the most extensive tenement positions in far north Queensland. So as Alistair pointed out, we've got dynamic management, and really we've been focused on aggregation and positioning. I suppose now it's all about delivery and promoting the company going forward. Copper production, you'll see here that we've generated roughly about 3 million over the last 18-month period. The project took a while to bring on stream. It's quite a sophisticated plant, but we're there now, and now it's all around the copper units that we can provide. It provides a high cash margin. We've got an off-taker who takes 100% and pays at the mine gate, so it provides not a waiting period for our cash flow. And the price is directly leveraged to the LME copper price. So it's the 1 month it's the average of the previous month's LME copper price plus a premium. So it actually, we get full value for the copper that we're selling in our copper sulfate. Future production increases will come from the open pit. So there's quite a large amount of material sitting in the open pit that we can strip out and actually put on the plant, put on the heap, and we can start leaching that material to increase our copper production going forward. So it has created a healthy cash flow, and we expect that cash flow to increase with some higher production levels. With Mangana, this would be an absolute step change for the company. We have quite a significant copper resource we talked about earlier. This plant itself is probably worth in excess of $150 million. It's sitting there idle at the moment. It has a very checkered legacy, I suppose, with various owners that have struggled in the past to make money out of this plant. It's really required a large open pit ore body that can be mined at production rates that can keep this mill full on a sustainable period of time. And that unfortunately has not occurred in the past. We've done quite a bit of work. You can see we've done the upgrading. We've done all the ore sorting work, metallurgical work, the open pit optimization, and the mine planning and so forth. And we've spoken to potential off-takers. So there's a lot of interest there. The preliminary work has been done. We're looking to move this forward. However, the venture agreement hasn't been signed at the moment. So it's complicated given the fact that Port Mentor administrators, we're dealing with Mount Garnet Mineral Finance, which are mortgagee in possession. And so it's that interaction of creditors versus this mortgagee in possession situation. When you look at our resource, I suppose, and I don't actually know what it is, but you can see we've got the open pit mineralisation that continues at depth. It has not been closed off, and it's in fact open along strike as well. So we've got a 45,000 tonne resource, which is really just limited by the amount of drilling that we've done. However, that is enough for a five-year production. Should we proceed with the project, our feed grade, you can see some of the parameters here. We envisage the feed grade would be around that 0.75, 0.9% copper. With the transaction going forward, we can convert potentially 1 million tonnes of indicated resource into reserves, so it provides a more definite outcome. And I think, as I mentioned earlier, we've completed all those tests. So what we've worked out, so the whole process would involve a situation of mining, upgrading through TOMRA crushing, and upgrading through TOMRA ore sorting at the Tartana mine site, hauling down to Mangana, and then processing that ore sorted material and producing a copper in concentrate, which would be sold to someone like Mount Isa or exported overseas. And the whole project offers a lot of growth opportunities. So as you envisage, Mangana itself has a whole lot of mining leases and tenements that cover a whole range of projects. And under the initial concept of the agreement, everything would be shared 50-50 in this Chillagoe region. So if we provide gold resources or copper resources, if they provide other resources such as at Mangana Underground or Red Dome, for example, though the margins from those projects would be shared on a 50-50 basis. Cardross, this is our copper gold project, which is up near Tartana. This has been one of the most exciting developments, I would say, this year, and it's in fact taken many months to bring this to an announcement stage. And actually, Michael up on the screen there has been a key guy that's driven this whole project. Michael is our geologist on the board. So the Cardross, we basically announced a resource of 502,000 ounces several weeks ago. And in addition, we've got an exploration target of potentially up to 200,000 to 400,000 ounces, although it's conceptual, of course, in nature. When you look at the whole process, we've used a relatively low cut-off grade of around 0.3 grams per tonne. And given the gold price, it's actually not a bad figure value. But the expectations are that this will ore sort, as will Mountain Maid and both the guys at Tomra and the nearby guys at Green Gold Minerals, who had the Wandoo prospect, found that they could achieve an 8 times increase in the gold grade and recover 91% of the metal. So it just transforms a lot of these projects. So ultimately, it then comes back to what is the scale or the size of the project to make the whole thing worthwhile. So so we're certainly quite excited. Here's the Mountain Maid resource, again, 500,000 ounces or 415,000 ounces at a 0.34 grams per tonne cut-off grade, head grade, and that could potentially upgrade quite nicely, and both projects could feed in. So if you look at how does it all fit together, you can see here that Cardross, you can see the Cardross and Maid gold projects. You can see Tartana at the top part of the screen and the Mangana ore processing facility. So a long-term vision could be that we get copper production occurring at Mangana as soon as we can. We're on granted mining leases. We've got the opportunity to do that, and we can bring the Mangana plant back into production relatively quickly in 2 or 3 months. Then we start to look at the opportunities of processing gold as well. And so we've got advanced mining lease applications over both Cardross and Mountain Maid. So you could envisage that we could mine, perhaps start with Cardross, we could mine, crush, Tomra ore sort out of Cardross, and then that could also feed into the Mangana plant. Initially, gold would go into a copper concentrate, so it'd be a copper gold concentrate, but ultimately you could envisage that Mangana, it would be worthwhile putting an additional CIL circuit on at Mangana for gold processing. Nightflower, silver, antimony, lead. This is an exciting project that we have quite a large silver equivalent exploration target, which of course is conceptual in nature. It is a very high grade zone with areas like 3 meters at 9% antimony, and I guess antimony is suddenly the flavour of the month, given the fact that the Chinese threatened to ban the export of antimony, and the antimony price shot up from about $7,000 US a tonne to $60,000 US a tonne, and sent all the antimony stocks with it. So this is a project that we need to get out and we need to drill. We've had this project for a while, and this will be a priority during 2026. Also recently we announced a new joint venture to explore and develop our Queensland Strategic Metals projects. You'll recall that Queensland QSM, Queensland Strategic Metals, we purchased this in late 2024, and it includes several exploration projects prospective for the minor metals and some of those strategic metals. But it covers quite a large ground position of 771 square kilometres in far north Queensland. The proposed venture would essentially see Tartana selling 50% to this group called Alt Resources PLC, which are looking to list on the AIM later this year, not next year, for $2 million in Alt scrip, and Alt also providing 500,000 in a convertible note to provide funding for immediate drilling on the Daisy Bell project. Tartana would manage and coordinate the exploration activities and be offered a seat on the Tartana board. So why is this good? So first of all, value. The assessed value at the time of the QSM transaction was 1 to 2 million, and so essentially we're receiving 2 million in scrip for this, for selling half QSM, not 100% of QSM. So we're getting value there. Short-term funding, well, we're not drawing on our own limited funding sources to start the Daisy Bell drilling, and longer-term funding, there's opportunities with the AIM market should we want to go that way or utilise Alt Resources for its funding sources. Daisy Bell Tin, this is an exciting project that actually Alistair brought to the group, to QSM at that time. They are quite attractive tin grades, particularly when you look at the tin price being at US 37,000 per tonne at the moment, and then tungsten. So a lot of the tungsten grades there are equivalent to what EQ Resources would be mining without any tin contribution. So the fact that there's both tin and tungsten makes it a very exciting project. Also, the fact that the mineralisation seems to be quite extensive over hundreds of metres of strike length, and that's been through mapping that's been conducted by the geologists in the field. So an exciting project that we expect to take forward very shortly. And then I suppose lastly, our dominant exploration position. You'll see from that map, the QSM projects are highlighted in blue. But what's really coming out, I suppose, is we have our priority Chillago copper gold projects, which include Tartana, Cardross, Mountain Maid, and the Bellevue projects, which will potentially focus around that Mangana plant and deliver ore to that Mangana plant, creating a nice cash flow. Then we have our Alt Resources joint venture covering the QSM projects, which, for tin, tungsten, and antimony, rare earths, and so forth, to take those projects forward with the separate funding entity. And then we've got our special projects, which include the Night Flower, silver, lead antimony project, Mount Molloy and Dimboola copper, and the exciting Beefwood gold project, which we identify as being special, and we certainly want to pursue them. So really, our early positioning in securing these projects is now paying off, with the market increasingly focused on strategic and critical metals, as well as attracting other corporate interests. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Steve. We now proceed. I'll stay here.
Yeah, sure.
We now proceed with the formal business of the meeting. Clause 83.5 of the company's constitution permits me, exclusively as chairman of the board, to set procedures to be adopted at general meetings of the company. And in order to expedite the formal process of this meeting, and in accordance with the powers given to me by the constitution, I direct that our company secretary, Sonny, be authorised to serve as chairman of this meeting. And as usual, Sonny did a sterling job.
Thanks, Alistair. Okay, a notice of meeting was dispatched to all shareholders prior to the meeting commencing, of course, and copies are available outside, and there's a copy on the desk here for any shareholders that would like to read it. Given everyone has a copy of the notice of meeting, I do not propose to read each resolution as they're put to the meeting, and instead we'll go through the resolutions and conduct the poll and take any questions at the relevant time. I will also not read any explanatory notes or the voting exclusion statements. Please note that the voting exclusion statement applies to most of the resolutions being considered. Voting today will be conducted by way of poll. All eligible shareholders should have now received a blue voting card. If you do not have a blue voting card and you would like to vote, please see Computershare outside. As set out in the notice of meeting, any live stream attendees will not be considered to have attended this meeting for the purpose of forming a quorum or for the purpose of voting. For your information, a summary of the proxies received is available at the entrance to the meeting. Copy is here, and a representative from Computershare will read out the summary of the proxies received in respect of each resolution. I will allow time for voting to be conducted by poll at the end of the meeting. The final results will be made available after close of the meeting today by way of release to ASX. Please note that I will only be accepting questions as they relate to each resolution and each resolution. If you have a general question, there will be a Q&A session after the meeting. The first matter to consider is the annual results. The Corporations Act requires that the company present the annual report at this annual general meeting and provide a forum for shareholders to ask questions, both of the company and of the auditor. Representatives from the auditor are in attendance. We've got Greg and Jack. No written questions have been received prior to the meeting. Do any shareholders present wish to ask a question of the company or the auditors? Thank you. We will continue with the meeting business, and on behalf of the company, I thank Greg and Jack for their attendance. The first resolution is Resolution 1, a non-binding resolution to adopt the Directors' Remuneration Report for the financial year ended 30 June 2025. Section 250(r)(3) of the Corporations Act requires a resolution to adopt the Directors' Remuneration Report to be put to vote at the company's AGM. Whilst the vote on the resolution is advisory and does not bind the directors or the company, we will take the results of that vote into account in future consideration of our remuneration practices. I will now ask a representative from Computershare to read out a summary of the proxy results of this resolution.
For 86.30%, against 1.73.
Thank you. Are there any questions relating to Resolution 1? Thank you. Voting on this resolution is being conducted by poll, which will occur towards the end of this meeting. The following two resolutions relate to the re-election of directors. Resolution 2 is an ordinary resolution for the election of Kiara Wang as a director of the company. Kiara is retiring and seeking re-election in accordance with Rule 6.1 of the company's constitution. I believe Kiara is also available to take questions at this meeting by phone. I will ask a representative from Computershare to read out a summary of the proxy results of this resolution.
For, we have 91.77%, against 0.65%.
Thank you. Are there any questions in relation to Resolution 2 or questions of Kiara? Thank you. Voting on this resolution is being conducted by poll, which will occur towards the end of this meeting. Resolution 3 is an ordinary resolution for the election of Matt Hancock as a director of the company. Matt is retiring and seeking re-election in accordance with Rule 9.2 of the company's constitution. He is available by phone to take questions. I will ask a representative from Computershare to read out a summary of the proxy results.
For, we have 91.85%, against 0.57%.
Thank you. Are there any questions in relation to this resolution or questions to put to Matt? No. Excellent. Voting on this resolution is being conducted by poll, which will occur towards the end of this meeting. The next set of resolutions from 4 to 9 relate to the refinancing of various finance facilities, including facilities with the directors of the companies. A summarized table of the financing facilities has been provided in the notice at page 13. Resolution 4 is an ordinary resolution seeking to approve the issuance of 900 2025A convertible notes, each with a face value of $1,000 to Breakaway Finance. Breakaway is a related party to the company as it is controlled by the managing director. I will now ask a representative from Computershare to read out a summary of the proxy results.
For, we have 86.45%, against 1.41%.
Thank you. Are there any questions in relation to this resolution? Excellent. Voting on this resolution is being conducted by poll. Poll will be conducted at the end of the meeting. Resolution 5 is an ordinary resolution seeking to approve the issuance of 450 2025A convertible notes, each with a face value of $1,000 to Sparkiki Pty Ltd. Sparkiki is a related party to the company as it is controlled by the chairman of the board, Alistair Lewis. I will now ask a representative from Computershare to read a copy of the proxy results.
For, we have 91.55%, against 0.88%.
Thank you. Are there any questions in relation to this resolution? Excellent. Voting on this resolution is being conducted by poll, which will occur towards the end of this meeting. Resolution 6 is an ordinary resolution seeking to approve the issuance of 300 2025A convertible notes, each with a face value of $1,000 to Kiara Wayne. Kiara is the director of the company. I will now ask a representative from Computershare to read out a summary of the proxies.
For, we have 91.55%, against 0.88%.
Thank you. Are there any questions in relation to this resolution? Excellent. Voting is being conducted by poll. Poll will occur towards the end of this meeting. Resolution 7 is an ordinary resolution seeking to approve the issuance of 500 2025A convertible notes, each with a face value of $1,000 to Uputri Pte Ltd. I will ask Computershare to read a summary of the results, please.
For, we have 91.55%, against 0.88%.
Thank you. Are there any questions in relation to this resolution? Excellent. Voting will be conducted by poll. Poll will occur towards the end of the meeting. Resolution 8 is an ordinary resolution seeking to approve the issuance of 500 2025B convertible notes, each with a face value of $1,000 to Quarto Capital Investment Limited. I will ask a representative from Computershare to read the proxy results.
For, we have 91.68%, against we have 0.75%.
Thank you. Are there any questions in relation to this resolution? Voting will be conducted by poll. Poll will occur towards the end of the meeting. Resolution 9 is an ordinary resolution seeking to approve the issuance of 200 2025C convertible notes, each with a face value of $1,000 to Equity Realty Development Australia Co. Pty Ltd. I will now ask a representative from Computershare to read out a summary of the results.
For, we have 91.68%, against we have 0.75%.
Thank you. Are there any questions in relation to this resolution? Voting will be conducted by poll. Poll will occur towards the end of the meeting. The following two resolutions, resolutions 10 and 11, seek the approval from shareholders for the issue of two proposed issues to existing shareholders of the company. The first is resolution 10, an ordinary resolution seeking to approve the issuance of 10 million shares to Kerwan, an entity that has agreed to vend in an asset to the company. I will now ask a representative from Computershare to read out a summary of the proxy results of this resolution.
91.55% for, and 0.88% against.
Thank you. Are there any questions in relation to this resolution? Voting will be conducted by poll. Poll will occur towards the end of the meeting. Resolution 11 is an ordinary resolution seeking to approve the issuance of 1.5 million shares to Jihad Malik. Jihad is a former director of the company but remains a related party for 6 months from ceasing to be a director. I will now ask a representative from Computershare to read out a summary of the results.
91.55% for, 0.88% against.
Thank you. Are there any questions in relation to this resolution? Excellent. Voting will be conducted by poll. Poll will occur towards the end of the meeting. Resolutions 12 to 18 seek shareholder approval for the issue of Class 2025 performance rights to various parties. The terms of these performance rights are summarised in the notice of meeting. In short, they're convertible by the holder into Tartana shares on a 1-to-1 basis in the event that the VWAP of the company shares exceed 10 cents by 31st of October 2026. Resolution 12 is an ordinary resolution seeking to approve the issue of 1 million of those performance rights to Director Stephen Bartrop. I will now ask a representative from Computershare to read out a summary of the results.
86.18% for, 1.66% against.
Thank you. Any questions in relation to this resolution? Okay. Voting will be conducted by poll. Poll will occur towards the end of the meeting. Resolution 13 is an ordinary resolution seeking to approve the issuance of 1 million of the same performance rights to Director Michael Thornbeck. I will now ask a representative from Computershare to read out a summary of the proxy results.
For, 90.32%, against 1.16%.
Any questions? Voting will be conducted by poll. Poll will occur towards the end of the meeting. Resolution 14 is an ordinary resolution seeking to approve the issuance of 1 million performance rights to Director Alistair Lewis. I will now ask a representative from Computershare to read out a summary of the results.
For, we have 91.40%, against we have 1.03%.
Thank you. Are there any questions in relation to this resolution? Excellent. Voting will be conducted by poll. Poll will occur towards the end of the meeting. Resolution 15 is an ordinary resolution seeking to approve the issuance of 1 million Class 2025 performance rights to Director Kiara Wang. We'll now ask Representative from Computershare to read out a summary of the proxy results.
91.404 for, 1.03% against.
Thank you. Any questions in relation to this resolution? Voting being conducted by poll. Poll will occur towards the end of the meeting. Now, Resolution 17 is an ordinary resolution seeking to approve the issuance of 500,000 Class 2025 performance rights to Rain Advisory Pty Ltd. As a director and ultimate shareholder of Rain Advisory, I have a material interest in the outcome of this resolution. Unless there are any objections from shareholders, I do not propose to vacate the chair. Thank you. I will now ask a representative from Computershare to read out a summary of the proxy results of this resolution.
91.40% for, 1.03% against.
Are there any questions in relation to this resolution? Thank you. Voting on this resolution will be conducted by poll. Poll will occur towards the end of this meeting. Resolution 18 is an ordinary resolution seeking to approve the issuance of 300,000 Class 2025 performance rights to Michael Leprino. I now ask a representative from Computershare to read out a summary of the proxy results.
91.40% for, 1.03% against.
Thank you. Are there any questions in relation to this resolution? Excellent. Voting will be conducted by poll. Poll will occur towards the end of this meeting. The final item of business on the agenda is the approval of the additional 10% placement capacity under Listing Rule 7.1A. It is a special resolution, and as a special resolution, it will only be passed if at least 75% of the votes cast today, in person or by proxy, by members who are entitled to vote in this resolution, vote in favour. I now ask a representative from Computershare to read out a summary of the proxy results in this resolution.
89.05% for, 3.37% against.
Thank you. Any questions in relation to this resolution? Thank you. Voting will be conducted by poll. Poll will occur towards the end of the meeting. That now concludes the process of going through each resolution in this notice of meeting. Please now complete your voting cards and place them in the box provided by Computershare. If you do not have a voting card and you're entitled to one, please see Computershare outside now.
That's it.
Excellent. Thank you. Voting is now closed. Computershare, the company share registry, will now tally the votes received here today. In the interest of time, the results of the meeting will be declared by way of release to ASX later today. That now concludes the business of the meeting. The meeting is now dealt with all business placed before it, so I declare the meeting closed with my thanks on behalf of the directors for your attendance and for your support of the company. With the meeting formally closed, I invite questions from shareholders. No questions?
No questions? Later.
Okay. Well, thank you for your attendance today.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.